All right, so now we're going to program the part of this where we are trying to guess the number and we're getting feedback from the program every time saying if the number is larger than what we're guessing or if it's smaller than what we're guessing. So we're just going to go over here and use this command that is a very useful one. It's called repeat until. Right? So essentially this is saying keep this process going, whatever put in there, keep it going until we get to a certain point. And that certain point is obviously going to be when we actually guess the right number. So we're going to put that in there, saying repeat until the answer is equal to the answer, right? So essentially repeat until what we're getting from this text box over here is equal to that variable that we set ourselves with the random generator. So essentially when we actually guess the right number. So until we guess the right number, we're going to keep this game going. Once we guess the right number, the program is going to finish. And it's going to finish with us showing a victory message, which we're going to set later on. For now, let's just focus on this part of the program where we still haven't finished this, we still haven't guessed the right number, and we want to keep getting feedback from the program saying how we're guessing, right? If the number is larger than what we're guessing or if it's smaller than what we're guessing. Now, another really nice and useful loop is if then. Now, the thing about if then is essentially what it's saying is if this thing is correct, then do this. If it's not, don't do this. Go to the next line, basically, right? So what we can use this for is to check and see if the number they're entering is larger. If it is larger than the actual number, then give them a message saying that, hey, maybe you should try something lower. If the number they're putting in is lower than the actual number, you can give a message saying, hey, maybe you should try something larger, right? Essentially, that's what we're doing. So we're going to use two of these because there are two different scenarios we could check. The number that is being entered is going to be either larger or smaller than the right answer. Obviously, if it was the right answer, the game would end. But we're assuming the game hasn't still ended, so it's going to be either larger or smaller. So we're going to start first with, we're going to go to operator, and we're first going to start with if the answer is smaller than the answer. All right, and again, remember, answer is what we're getting from the player. The answer is the variable and the actual number that the random generator has picked for us. So if what the player entered is smaller, we need to tell them guess something larger, right? So we're going to go over here and say oh, your number is too small. Try something larger. Right? And if the other is correct, let's say if the answer is smaller than the actual number, then we need to show a message saying, oh, your number is too large. Try something smaller. All right, and again, just make sure you don't do this. I think I did it the opposite way, so let's go ahead and make sure we fix that. There we go. If the answer is larger than, there we go. All right, so let's walk through what's happening here one more time. So the program checks every time that the answer is not the actual number. We're going to check if what they entered, if it's smaller than the actual number, we say, hey, that's too small, try something larger. If that's not the case, we go over here and check, hey, if what you entered is larger than the number, then hey, your number is too large, try something smaller. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. And once, this essentially keeps going until we get to the right number. And once we guess the right number, then we're just going to broadcast something else so that we can display a victory message later on with another sprite. So we're just going to say broadcast. We can create a new broadcast saying end game. All right, so we basically end the game. And we can set a new sprite over here, essentially telling us that the game has finished so that we know what's going on. So let's go over here and create a new sprite saying, congratulations, you guessed the correct number. All right, and then we can just centralize that. There we go. And we can come over here and put it at 0, 0. All right. Now, make sure that, first of all, this is set to hide at first, because we need to make sure this is not displayed early on in the program, right? So when the flag is being clicked, this needs to be hidden. And then later on, when we get the broadcast that, hey, the game has finished, then we can go ahead and show this message saying that, hey, you guessed the correct number. And also, we're going to add a little bit of a sound effect just to say, hey, you have done this, well done, and cheerio, basically. So we can just go ahead and say play sound pop, for example, over here, or you can just put some other sound effect if you want, essentially saying that, boop, you did it, you guessed the right number, congratulations. And that's essentially it, right? So let's walk through what is happening in this program one more time together. So first of all, when we click on this button in the beginning stage, we're broadcasting start game. So the button hides, this text hides, and of course the text saying that the game has finished is already hidden. And then we go over here to the backdrop. We make sure we pick a random number and we hide it so that it's not displayed on the screen. We ask for the player to guess a number between 0 and 100. We check to see if they have entered the correct number. If not, we'll check to see if they entered a number that is larger or smaller than the one that we have picked, and we give them feedback saying, hey, if they should try something larger or something smaller. And we keep doing this until they guess the right number. And once they get the right number, we broadcast end game, which in turn would let us know that, hey, the game has finished. So show the victory message and play that sound, right? Essentially saying that, the game has finished, just like that. All right, so make sure you have all of that going on, and you're then ready to try the program yourself. So you can just try it like that. You can say guess a number, start, let's say 50. It says try something smaller, so we're going to go with 25. Try something smaller, so let's go with 13. Try something larger, so let's go with 18. Try something larger, let's go with 22. Try something smaller, let's go with 20. Try something smaller, so we're going to go with 19. And there we go. There we have it. Now, right now, we need to make sure that the message is being shown. It's not being shown right now. So let's go ahead and see what's happening here. So once we guess the right number, we broadcast endgame, and then we come over here. Once we got the broadcast, there we go. That's where we are. We should say when we receive broadcast. There we go. Put that there. Drop this over here. Let's go try one more time. We run it. 50, try something smaller. 25, try something larger. 37, try something smaller. 31, try something smaller. 27. Congratulations, you guessed the correct number. And you get that pop sound effect as well. All right, so hopefully this made sense. You can go ahead and try it out yourself, see if the game is working properly, and then you can just show it to everyone and have other people play it as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little project and it was instructive for you. So go ahead and play with this, play around with these commands a couple of times and see how you feel about them. And I'll see you in the next one.